Saadiq ranks creative and corporate. You need space away from your family, man. Let's talk about it. Young adults, or anyone for that matter, I'm not telling you to isolate. That's the last thing. I'm telling you to expand your mind, get out into new environments. When I say space away from your family, I'm saying space away from your environment. Family, friends, habits, these are just typical things that are factors of the environment, but ultimately, you need to expand your mind, and getting into a new environment is going to do so. Now I know everybody is not in a position to go move away and just instantly kind of like move out and get out from under their family's thumb, or even like just have that type of comfort or assistance that your family provides you when you're living at home. From my own experience, I've seen people, friends, other students drown under their parents' supervision. And the reason for that is because they haven't built their own identity up. It's hard to find yourself when you're constantly being reminded of who you were or who you're trying to break out of. Every time you're coming home, you're getting told these different things or getting reminded of the person that you're trying to not be. It's not always a conducive, or it's not always a conducive environment for habit breaking. It's you've been living there for kind of like quarter most of your whole life, and it's hard to break away from that, and it's hard for your parents or the people that are in your environment to break away from that. You might be sitting around your friends, and you feel like you guys are doing the same things over and over again, and maybe these habits that you've developed together as friends you're trying to break out of, but they're not really trying to break out of it yet, and now you're at an impasse. That's why I said it's always important for a young adult, somebody that's 17 going into 25, like this range, you need to be getting into completely new environments in any which way that you can, whether that's moving, whether that's taking a vacation, whether that's just maybe staying there for 3 months. There's different avenues that we're about to break down in which you're going to be able to kind of build this identity. And it's very important because I'm telling you, these AIs are stealing your identity. Shoot, look at this right here. If you are just looking to get a new space for yourself, go talk to some friends that are goal aligned, that have money, that has stuff backed up. Go set up a contract, make sure y'all are good. Put X amount in a separate account so y'all make sure that the rent is there. You don't have to worry about no like bad business decisions for friends and stuff like that. Make sure you're all set up aligned, and go in and get an apartment. But you got to realize why you're doing it. You need a new framework of thinking. You need space in order for your mind to flourish. I feel like I haven't. The biggest places that I've grown is when I've traveled, and maybe that's just because like I'm a strategist when it comes to brand and businesses. But ultimately, it's like when I was in Ghana, I started thinking about my videos differently. When I was in Trinidad, I started thinking about life differently. Even when I just went to Atlanta, like these are places and things in which you're seeing different people move around and placing things into perspective. You're always, as a young adult from 16 to 25, the aim of the game is to accrue as much responsibility and also as much as experience. And if you're living at home, a lot of the experience is getting kind of like weighing down by a lot of the circumstances you're in, because your family and your friends and your habits still see you as the same person you were 2 years ago. And you might not be that person. I want you to talk about your first semester commuting, and then the switch over, and how like your parents received it and how you received it.
Hey guys, it's Janine, and I'm a senior at NYU. Basically, when I first got to NYU, I was a commuter student, and I was living at home, even though I had a scholarship to dorm. And when I got here, I spoke to Sadiq about it, and he was just like, "We have a scholarship to dorm. Like, why are you commuting?" And I had told him that my mom made me give up my scholarship to stay at home with her. And she was telling me, like, I want you home with me. I don't want you to leave New York. Back then, I didn't really have that much of a backbone to, like, stick up for myself. So I was just like, fine, whatever. I'm commuting from Manhattan to Brooklyn, train and bus, hour back and forth every day. I'm on the train crying. I'm just sad. I'm just like, I want to hang out with my friends. I want to have that experience where I'm by myself and, like, independence. But my mom kept me home. So then I remember talking to Sadiq about it, and he was just like, get your scholarship back. and leave and tell her after. And that was the most scariest thing to me ever. I was just like, I'm not doing that. Like, I have never done nothing like that before. But then I was just like, maybe this is my first step at like literally leaving. So I got my scholarship back. I told my mom, and she blacked out. She blacked out. She was
They
just
always
like,
gonna black out too.
she blacked
Listen, you
out.
can't be scared, bruh. You gotta sever the bond sometimes. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was so scared because she was like, "You're gonna be in debt forever. You're never gonna be able to have a house, a car. You're not gonna be able to afford nothing. Like, blah blah blah." And I was just like, "Damn! Like, she really don't want me to leave, and I have a scholarship. So how am I gonna be in debt?" She was just saying anything. I moved out. She didn't buy nothing for my dorm. She went on strike. She went on strike. She didn't buy me no mattress topper, no pillows, no kitchen utensils, nothing. And I was just like, damn, like, that's tough, you know? But now she be excited for me to leave. She be taking me, she be helping me make my bed and everything. And like, I had to take that first step because if I didn't take it, as hard as it was, it would have never happened. I would have still been at home. So
You heard her. Take that first step, man. I probably convinced like 5 of my friends back in first year, and even like students after the fact that I knew it was commuting. I was like, bro, get on campus. Learn how to live independently. This is very important because, as Janine was just saying, like it got better over time, but you have to sever that tie because if not, like sometimes your family, your parents might have like a codependency on you. And I'm not saying like cold turkey, go like violate your parents. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying isolate. I'm just saying that you need, in order for your receptors to feel it, you just like a muscle, like you need to break it down and build it back up, and that's the foundation for you building your identity. All right, when I talk about building your identity, I'm talking about morality and integrity. Like, what are the values that you're going to stand on moving into the next chapter of your life? At this age, from 17, 18, 19, 20, you're going to be faced with a lot of real world things. Your family might start telling you, like, people that are getting sick. Your family might be telling you real world stuff that, like, you might have to deal with. And it's like you're coming into a consciousness of, like, politics and how it's going to affect me and my family. And a lot of that takes time. It takes experiences. It takes going through different things, going through hard times for you to really figure out, like, yo, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is what I care about. And this is what I'm going to protect going forward. Think about the only capital that you do have in this day and age. You have your authenticity. You have you. You lose that in this day and age. You see AIs coming and trying to just replace that. That's the only social capital that we do have that computers can't replicate yet. That's what I'm saying. That's like it's important for you to really figure it out in these next couple of years, or if you already been doing it, good kudos to you. But this is the stage. This is the time. Like if you don't have your values of what you're standing for, in the next couple of years, it's just gonna get lost in the fodder when that wealth gap is increasing, when all these different things that we're facing at the moment right now are just going to steadily increase and cause more panic. Again, I want you to expand your thinking and your range of possibilities, but not isolate. That's the last thing I want to do. That's what I just spoke about last video. Like, don't encourage that lone wolf mentality. I'm not saying that. I'm saying make sure that you and your family are getting new experiences. You especially are getting new experiences for you to be able to create your identity. So this is a video obviously for the young adults. The biggest lesson I learned being away from home in the last 4 years is that if I didn't spend the amount of time trying to build confidence in creating my reputation and my list of accomplishments or even what I stand on, when I'm getting taken into my internship or I'm going back home and my family trying to tell me about myself or them trying to tell me about myself, how do you have any backbone to say, nah, they were wrong about that, right? Nah, they just got me wrong or they got me in a different light. This is not who I am. This is who I am, right? Like that backbone comes with confidence. That backbone comes with sometimes even faking it to make it. And it feels like when you're at college, you get a whole new fresh start. So you're able to fake it to make it because nobody knows you, right? But it's hard to do that when you're in your own environment and people have seen you for the last 17 years of your life, right? So just keep that in mind because if you're not building that identity, that backbone of what your morals are, what your values are, and what you're trying to do, then people are going to keep trying to pull you back down to that level of where you were at before. In closing, In closing, we are in a shift, man. The wealth gap is increasing. You see the tech oligarchs clicking up. You see these meme coins ramping. All the signs are pointing to nobody's caring about the lower class or what's going to happen. And the lower class is made up of minorities. And I'm trying to equip you with everything that I learned along the way in the past 40 years as a creative in corporate, to kind of like aim you with a lot of these foundational elements that I've just been building upon. And this is one of them, right? Like, you need to have some type of separation so you can build your own identity, but learn the levels and the balance between taking space and isolation. Isolation is the opposite of what I'm talking about. But I'm excited to keep posting weekly. Like, it's getting way more automated, and I'm just excited for it. School just started, so I have a whole college revamp video coming soon because I got a lot of ideas. Especially like it's my first week, my last first week of classes. So we'll see. We shall see. Morality, integrity, community. Saadiq ranks. Love y'all. I'll see y'all next week or in a couple of days. I don't even know.